What's up, D&D nerds? Hey, you're gonna get a ramble because I'm starting this video at a stoplight, and I'm not gonna turn it off until it gets to another stoplight. So buckle up. Anyway, I've been catching up on a bunch of shows and movies that I just didn't watch over the past few years, all right, we're just gonna list them off here. I watched Deadpool and Wolverine finally. Thought that was really good. I've watched The Acolyte, which was Star Wars. I'm a big fan of Star Wars, and I've been pretty behind on that. I finished Tales of the Empire, which I liked. I finished, oh man, what else have I seen? I've seen the first two Hobbit movies. Never watched those. They're pretty good, honestly. I was surprised. I thought they'd be significantly worse, being honest. But it's been nice. It's been inspiring to see new stuff that I know of through memes and shorts and clips and things like that, but I've never actually sat down and taken the whole piece of content, the whole piece of art as itself, as opposed to just taking it in little bite-sized chunks. The Acolyte, talking about that, holy crap. The story itself was fine, perfectly fine. It had some nice little twists and things to it, nothing too terribly crazy. But what I really appreciated about it was the style. The fact that it was very, kung fu kind of style, where we had it a little more Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, floating through the top, tapping on the top of trees and things, and it felt much more like how Jedi would move. They're aided by the Force. Of course, they'd be able to do that. Anyway, what I'm getting to here is that if you what's a thing in the past, I don't know, we'll say 2-3 years. Or, here's a better question. What's something that has come out fairly recently, in the past 5 or 6 years, and you have just you put it off for a long time, didn't watch it for whatever reason, and then you finally did sit down and watch it, and, whether you were oh, wow, this was fantastic, or it was all right, whatever. What was the thing that kind of got you more inspired to write something new, or to change how you do something in your games or things like that? Obviously, media is such an important part of our influence as DMs and players even. But what is it that you found has been... What have you found recently that has been the biggest influence on how you style your games, or how you interact with your players, or things like that? I definitely feel that the Acolyte kind of got me into a mindset of, you need to go over the top. Don't let it be so grounded in reality. Let it be high fantasy and stuff. And I'm not gonna say I don't let crazy things happen and that, but I definitely feel I have a tendency to kind of root in reality a little bit, in terms of how things function and how things work and how things move, and what people are capable of and things like that. But obviously there's magic and things, and you get what I'm saying. Like I said, this is going to be a ramble, and I haven't hit another stoplight yet since we started. So we're in it now. Alexis. How many of you guys have seen Schitt's Creek? That one's a good one for just NPCs. If you need good NPC character interaction study, watch Schitt's Creek. It's so good. You have really quick dialogue, almost it's like Gilmore Girls if there was more breathing room between the dialogue. You know how Gilmore Girls is just rapid fire, no room for a breath, no room for things to settle, because somebody's talking on top of it, or right immediately after the first point ends. But yeah, there's more. Yeah, the best way I can describe it is there's just more breathing room in between the speaking. Yeah. What else have I watched? What else have I watched recently? Oh man. There was another. Oh, I started watching The Punisher. Finally, I had watched the first couple episodes, I think, and then fell off because something else was on. But my dad's a big fan of that, so we've been watching that together. That's been pretty cool. It's not so bad, not bad so far. I've never been a huge diehard Punisher fan. I liked the one that came out in 2003 or something like that with now I can't remember his name. I always remember his name. Thomas Jane, that's it. I was going to say the guy from The Mist. That terrible ending to that movie. If you've never seen The Mist, oh my God. Horrible ending. Not a horrible, oh man, that movie sucks, but just you leave that movie feeling like dog shit, man. Holy fuck. That's a rough one. Anyway, The Mist is, honestly, if you've never, I know we're going back to it. If you haven't seen The Mist, you should watch it. It's pretty good, especially for unseen horror, unseen monster kind of vibe. Very inspiring for that. Similar, not exactly the same, but similar to Jaws, where it's you don't see the monster and things like that. Okay, I'm finally at a stoplight. I'm gonna stop recording and rambling. We are, holy crap, 6.5 minutes, almost 7 minutes. If anyone here is watching to this point, you gotta follow me at this point. Be good, be kind. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.